I am sure that you have encountered a toxic person or you are currently encountering it. And before anything, I just want to say encouragement, comfort, and strength to you. I know it's not an easy thing. Let's have this conversation. My name is Twist Miricho. Welcome to my channel. So, guys, I think I have dealt with toxic people almost all my life. Every single year of my life, I think I have dealt with toxic people. At some point, I had to sit myself down and just ask myself, am I the toxic one? Why am I just attracting toxic people in my life? Am I toxic? I had to sit myself down and have this really heavy conversation. And when I talk about this topic, really, I'm not talking from a place of profession. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I am not a professional, but I have experienced, and I have experience, and experience is the best teacher. Most people tell you if you have a toxic person in your life, just stay away from them. But what do you do when the toxic person is your colleague, the toxic person is your mother, and you are a teenager? The toxic person is your father, and you still stay at home. The toxic person is somebody who's you have every single day to meet with them, and they are so toxic. How do you stay away from them? Because you're not gonna quit your job because you have a toxic colleague. You have to continue living with them. So I hope that my tips are going to help you, because they really have helped me as I dealt with some toxic people in my life. So, number one, ask yourself, what is my role in this toxicity? How am I feeding this toxicity? Because you might be pointing fingers and saying, he is the one who is toxic, she is the one who is toxic, she is the one who is toxic. But actually, you're the toxic one. Sit yourself down and ask yourself, am I toxic? Am I the one who is toxic? So it's important for you to make sure that you're not the one who is toxic before you call every other person out for being toxic. So sit yourself down. And even if you're not the toxic one, you can have elements of toxicity, things that you do that is feeding this toxicity that is in your environment. So know, what am I doing to feed this toxicity? You might not be the toxic one. Maybe you have a toxic person in your life, but you have elements of toxicity. The way you scream, the way you shout, your attitude, your language. And we can't always say that they made me do it. They were shouting at me. They were insulting me. Because what you do, how you respond to how people treat you, shows who you are, not who they are. Teach yourself to calm down. Teach yourself to be more quiet. Teach yourself to have good language. Teach yourself to be more respectful. Even if they're disrespectful, try and teach yourself to be a good person and a nice person. Even if people, I'm not saying that you become a mad. I'm not saying that you become a mad for someone to step on you. You can have wisdom and still choose to be respectful. Number two, when you know the elements of your toxicity, work on them. Work on them. If it is your language, work on it. If it is the way that you scream and shout and just go back and forth with this person, or your attitude or your bad, just work on it. Make sure that you are a better person before you start asking somebody else to be a better person. Make sure that you are a better person. And don't say, it's because they're like that, I cannot be a better person, when they are not. I know it's not an easy thing. By the way, when I say this, I'm not saying this because, let me tell you, I'm not saying this because I'm just the best. Like when I'm dealing with a toxic person, no. For sure, there are going to come times when you're just gonna be like, you know what? Let's cause fracas. Let us cause damage. We don't care because they started it, but let's be better. Let us be better people. Number three, don't take it personally. Listen, these people are sick. They're not well. And everything that they say, every action that they do is not a reflection of who you are. It is a reflection of who they are. And I know it is so hard to hear your name being mentioned somewhere in the middle there, and you say, well, I'm not going to take it personally because it is a reflection of who they are, not a reflection of who I am. But I am telling you this. Whatever they do, sometimes they only do it to hurt you, to make you feel so bad. Just know that whatever toxic people do is a projection of their frustration. It is a projection of how bitter they are. It is not a reflection of who you are. It is a reflection of who they are. Master your emotions. Try to master your emotions. Don't take it personally, even if they mention your name somewhere in the middle there. Don't take it personally, even when they're saying no, twist. It doesn't mean because they're mentioning your name, it is about you. Really, no. Honestly, it is about them and what they're going through. So remove yourself from that story. And it's so important to love yourself. When you love yourself, when you know who you are, when you know that you are enough and you are beautiful, it's so hard for someone to say something that is completely off and you believe it, and I have a video on loving yourself that I will put in the description box below, so you can check that video out, how to love yourself, and so that people are not going to say things about you that are not true and you believe them. So I just want to remind you that you are beautiful, you are enough. Even if this person keeps calling you all these kinds of things and they keep frustrating you, it doesn't mean that you are those things. They are just projecting their own bitterness and frustration. Number 4, boundaries. Just as we said when we started, please have boundaries. If you can, stay away from this person, but if you can't, have emotional boundaries, have physical boundaries as much as you can. Make sure that you are removing your emotions from whatever they're talking about. Please create a boundary between your emotions, between what they're saying and what you're believing, between what they're saying and what you're letting get into you. So don't always build a boundary emotionally. And one of the things I've come to realize is that toxic people have the beautifulest mouth, if there's a word like that. They have very sweet words. When they speak to you, you always think, oh my God, I think they've changed, they're better. But no, first of all, adjust your expectation with these people. Please have little to no expectation from them, because they're going to disappoint you and you're going to feel so bad emotionally. So just do the best that you can to separate your emotions with whatever they're doing and whatever they're saying. Build those boundaries. If you can stay, if you have to, just be quiet. Build those boundaries, especially emotionally. Even when they want to look as if they're befriending you because they want something from you, just if they already set the boundary of toxicity, let's just keep that line very well visible with a lot of clarity. Always know that toxic people are not your friends. They are not your friends. Even if you have to stay with them every single day, they're not your friends. And therefore, treat them as such. You don't have to break an arm and a leg for someone who is toxic towards you. That's going to really help you to just live in peace. Number 5, focus on solution. Every time you engage with this person, I always say, just be quiet. You don't have to always argue. You don't have to always shout and scream and just be over the top and completely just don't engage. And some people are not even, they're toxic, but they don't talk. Yeah, so not all most toxic people talk. They say words, they do things, but there are some who are just, they don't talk, they're silent, but the toxicity that's coming out of them is so ugly. So don't engage in action, don't engage in words, don't engage in any kind of way unless it is solution based. Because one thing about toxic people, they want unnecessary drama. And if you want peace and sanity, avoid drama. Just do the best that you can to avoid drama. So don't engage. Don't just get away from that toxic environment as much as you can. And you don't even have to get away physically, you can get away emotionally and just say, I am not a part of your frustration and I will not be a part of it. So remove yourself. Even if you cannot remove yourself physically, remove yourself emotionally. Don't take it personally. Because let me tell you something about toxic people. They have a routine. You will notice that what they're doing is quite routine. If you master your emotions and you know, so this is what he wants to do, so this, mostly you can predict them. So if you can predict this person, then you can master your emotions and know, so this is when he does this, so I'm not going to be a part of this. I'm not going to be a part of it. Just tell yourself you don't want to be a part of it. And I know that it could be really hard, but if you form a habit, if you try every single day, you're going to get better. Of course, the first day you're not going to say, I'm not going to be a part of it and it's perfect. No, you're going to say that a couple of times before you are actually not a part of it. But do the best that you can to just really just stay away from this person's insecurities and stay away from this person's frustration. Number 6, this is a big one, guys. Make sure that you surround yourself with people who love you, your family, your friends. Make sure that you're surrounding yourself with these people that show you that there is love. You can be loved. You can be adored. You can be enough. Because sometimes if you just surround yourself with toxic people, sometimes you just forget that there is a beautiful world out there. As much as you have to say with this toxic person, please make sure that you surround yourself with people who love you. And if you feel like, I don't got a family, I don't have a friend, I don't have friends that would show me that there is love in this world, let me recommend God. One of my biggest therapy is God. And I know people are so different, and I'm not saying that you don't go for therapy. You need God, and also you need therapy if that is what you need. But one of my biggest therapy has been God, and he is such a loving father, and he has really taught me how to love myself and how to feel enough and feel beautiful. And so when I recommend the friend God, I'm not just recommending because let's just say something that's gonna sound nice. No, go to God. He's going to teach you that you can be loved, you can be adored, you can be enough because you are. So run to God. I would love to say, if you are in a toxic relationship, and it does not have to be a romantic relationship, if you can get out, get out. I know sometimes it could be hard because of probably money, opportunity, and other things, even children and everything. But we have had so many stories of people who have actually even died because of staying in toxic relations. When you see it and you can go and you can get out, please get out. These other things can be gained, but your life, you only have one. If you needed a sign, this is your sign. If you are in a toxic relationship of any kind and you can get out and you can create a physical boundary, please do it before we lose another soul. That is all for today. Make sure you like and subscribe if you loved any part of this video. Let us meet